quick vacation or quick trip to Asia. I actually did not go to Asia. I stayed home. I stayed in Canada. So basically, nearby, an hour away, there is a big Buddhist temple that they recently built or is in the process of building. And we decided to go on a fishing trip, and we were going to a place which is like 2 hours away that I grew up going ever since I was younger, to go fishing because my friend boy of almost 8 months was like ever since we were in high school, I always talked about this place that I always go fishing at, and he was always like, oh, we should go fishing one day. And like we finally after many years of saying we should go fishing, we finally went fishing. And I think I'm gonna go again on Tuesday, but to a different place, hopefully with a boat. Anyways, we decided to go north to go fishing to that place, and that big Buddhist temple that was being built was on the way. It was like about halfway through the trip, so it was like 2 hours away to fishing, and then 1 hour in is about that temple. So we decided to go to that temple, and it was actually free admission, free parking, because it was still being built. And it was kind of crazy going there because it kind of felt like I was seeing things I wasn't supposed to, you know what I mean? Because it was like not completed yet. It really felt like when you're playing Animal Crossing and you're mapping out your whole island, and you're trying to figure out where to put everything. And that's how it really felt like, and it was kind of crazy, not gonna lie. But yeah, but we went there and we posted pictures of the temple because the temple itself was mostly completed, and it was like so beautiful. The whole area was so beautiful. I think the statues and stuff were beautiful. I think it was like donated to Canada from like Chinese businessmen or something. That's why we have that stuff. But it was so beautiful, and it was kind of scary driving there because it was like literally just us on the road, and there was no one else like heading towards our direction. And I was kind of like in my head a little bit, and I was like, oh my god, what if like this was a trap? We went up to the Buddhist temple, and on our way there I was like in my head a little bit, and I was like, oh my god, like what if this is not real? What if it's just a bait? You know what I mean? And I was kind of like freaking out. And then like as we were driving, I vlogged the whole trip, so I will have a vlog out. Actually, I forgot about this one point. So like when you're in the GTA area, which is I guess like just like the cities around Toronto, it's usually very, very multicultural. And as soon as you go north or like leave the city area, it's very not multicultural. It's just a lot of Caucasian people, which I don't have a problem with. It is what it is, you know. But obviously, being a very colored person as myself and my friend boy of almost 8 months, it's just like a little bit conscious. Like you kind of like you just know like that you're the odd one out, which is fine. It is what it is. Again, it's just that I'm not very used to that because of how cultural or multicultural the GTA is, and like growing up around a lot of like different ethnicities and colored people, right? And then we stopped by this small town, which is like only about like 40 minutes away, and there's like a lot of like Caucasian people. And at first we were all like a little anxious, a little bit, just like a little bit on our guard, you know. We want to be on our best behavior, right? But people were actually like so nice. Like people were actually so nice. They're like, good morning, and we're like, good morning, like smiling from ear to ear, and like having a little conversation about like, oh, we're just looking for like hand sanitizer and stuff like that, because we need a hand sanitizer because we're like on our road trip and everything. And they're like really nice. They were really nice there, and like even like we went to a Shoppers Drug Mart to get the hand sanitizer, and then the worker was like, oh, like where are you guys from? And we're like, oh, like Toronto. And she was like, well, welcome to our store here. Hope you enjoy it. And we're like, yeah, it's like very nice. It's just like a Shoppers Drug Mart, you know what I mean? Like if it was somebody here, like straight up, they're like, I'm done. next person, don't care, don't want to make conversation, you know what I mean? Which is like so funny. And they were like, people were really nice in that town, that specific town. And then after we went to the temple, I'll get back to the temple, but like after we went to the temple, we stopped by Peterborough because that's the area that the fishing place is at, and we were having lunch because it was like so hot still. We're like, it's gonna be really hot when we go fishing. We're just gonna like kill some time and wait a little bit while it just cools down a little bit. So we stopped by Wendy's. And Peterborough, I would say, is a little different from our experience. I don't know, like, entirely, but we walk into this Wendy's, and we're, like, the only colored people there, other than the workers, interestingly. And all the customers, it was, like, packed. It was packed Wendy's, and there's, like, a long line. And as soon as we walk in, everyone turned their heads towards us, and we're, like, they'd be, like, looking at us. And I'm like, okay, I just want, you know, a Dave single, stuff like that. And I was like, just like on our best behavior, you know, not be too loud and just be good people, you know what I mean? Because they'd be looking at us, they'd be staring us down, and I was like, we were both like, the vibes here were a lot more different than the first town we went to, which is kind of crazy. I guess it's because it's more north. But then again, I also went 4 hours north in like North Bay, and I like grew up going there every summer, and like I didn't feel like kind of like the odd one out there. I felt like just myself, you know what I mean? But yeah, and then we went to the Buddhist temple, which was like so nice and beautiful, and I was like, wow, in awe. And it was like so trippy because like I feel like there are areas you probably aren't supposed to go to, but like you can, because there's no one there to tell you no, because it's still under construction. But you're allowed to walk up to it and like to like statues and stuff and like look at them like close up and stuff. It was kind of cool. And there was like this big bell that I was able to like dong to like ring and everything, and it was like super cool. It was so beautiful inside of the buildings and stuff like that, because the buildings were like, it was so beautiful. Like the walls were like 3D, you know what I mean? But we're not allowed to take photos inside because it's like that's where they pray and stuff. But it was like so beautiful, so beautiful. It's also interesting because we saw like, I recently learned that you could buy cop cars secondhand. And there was this like girl with like an old cop car, and there's like writing on the outside, and I don't know what the writing was, but I'm assuming it was like Chinese characters writing, like straight up. And it looks like a straight up like cop car. Like we were like, oh, the police is here, we shouldn't be parking here. But then it was just some girl like chilling in this car, and I was like, whoa, it's kind of interesting. But yeah. I don't think I have much stories from the temple itself, but it was like so beautiful, and if you ever get the chance to drive up there, I highly recommend it. And it was also funny because we posted pictures at the temple on Instagram, and then I went to like this little hangout thing with a bunch of friends that I haven't seen in a while, and they were all like, yo, so like how was China? And we're like, huh? You guys really thought we went to China? And they're like, yeah, because like I saw your story. And I'm like, no, that was here. And they're like, yo, that actually looks like if I saw those photos, I actually wouldn't have thought it was from here. And I'm like, yeah, it was like, we like drove up like an hour away to get there, and it was kind of crazy. But yeah, and then we went fishing. And it was so freaking hot. It was so hot because there's like no shade there, because our fishing spot was like, it's a dam for boating, but you're allowed to fish there. And we were fishing, and I caught like so many fish right away, and I was like, bro, I'm so cool, ha ha ha. And then Jerome, I think he couldn't catch many fish because I think the hook that he was using wasn't a good hook, because it wouldn't like hook onto the fish. Like they would always get away because I think it was like a small like hook thing, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like if you do fish, you'll understand. And then I was like, yeah, I was feeling a little prideful, you know what I mean? So after my first fish, and like I grew up fishing, right? So I know how to like take the fish out and stuff like that. But for some reason, this time I didn't do it properly. The freaking fish stabbed my finger, and it was pretty deep, and I had to like rip off half of like some of my skin off. But it was fine. I think it was karma for catching a fish. Nature's karma. Fishing culture is like kind of cute here because it's like I don't know, everyone's so friendly, so like you kind of just talk to everyone. But yeah, fishing culture is so cute though because everyone wants to like see how many fish you caught and stuff like that, and like what kind of fish. So like there's this old lady and she comes up to me. I was by myself at this point because Jerome had to get something at the car. I forgot what he got. I think it was bug spray. And then she was like making some conversation with me. She's like, "Oh, like you come here often?" I'm like, "Yeah, I came here like ever since I was young. I come here like every summer." She's like, "Yeah, like I live here like really close by and everything." And I was like, "Oh," and she's like, "Oh, I'm here with my hubby. That's my hubby over there." And she's like pointing to her husband. I was like, "Oh my god, that's so cute." And then they just got there too, and we already caught like quite a few fish, and they didn't catch anything. I was like, "What? What? How'd you guys catch nothing? But we caught something." Maybe it's just my skill. I don't know. I think I was just lucky that day. And then there's this other guy, cause it was we were there. We were trying to fish later because it was so hot. As you could see, I got cooked. I'm like so very tan right now. We were trying to we were trying to fish later in the day so it's not so hot. And then we were there until like past sunset. So for some reason there's no lights there at all. And I didn't know that it would like I didn't know there was no lights. So all we had was our phone flashlight and like my portable charger has a flashlight built in. So we were just like kind of trying our best to finish all our bait as much as we could. And also as we were like packing up because we were like, okay, like I think it's time to go now because it's really dark. It's kind of scary. We don't know what's out here. And it's just like literally it was just us two, this other guy around our age that he was by himself, and then this old man. The couple already left before too. And then we were being swarmed by so many mosquitoes. Luckily I didn't get bit because I was like drenched in bug spray. And then yeah, and then we were like trying to pack up everything in the dark with only our phone flashlights. And then the guy that's around our age was like, "Oh, like if you ever want to like fish here in the middle of the night, like it's not scary. I've been here for like 10 years and there's never been like any animals or anything. Like it's super safe." And we're like, "Yeah, nice. Thanks, dude. Like maybe next time." Right? And we might go eventually next time. And then when we went back to the car, we were like, I'm not really scared of the animals. It's mainly like really creepy people that we're scared of, mostly. Cause like, you don't know, there's no light, there's no security, there's like no one around, and it was like pitch black dark outside, so it's like you never know what's gonna happen. And we kind of left that guy by himself. Oopsie. But yeah. Usually there's a lot more people fishing around. But it was a Monday, so that's why there was no one around. But yeah. That was our fishing trip. I think we caught like 14 fish total, and we had to let a few go because they were too small. But overall, it was a fun trip, and I really love fishing a lot, and I was happy to go again this year. But yeah, it was fun. But I highly recommend everyone to try out fishing one day in their life if you're comfortable with it.